In today's lesson, we're going to learn how to apply the anchor technique to the first chords that we learned, which were A, E, and D. If you remember, for the anchor, we had one finger that stayed down the entire time as we switched between the three chords. So my third fret was always pressed for all three chords. With E, A, and D, we'll have the same idea. We're going to keep our index finger down on the G string, but it's actually going to switch between the second fret and the first fret, depending on which chord we're on. So if I run through these, if I start on D, I'm fretting it the same way that we learned earlier. I have my index finger on the second fret of the G string, and when I switch to A, I'm going to keep it down. I'm going to scoot it back a little bit. I'm going to place the middle finger on the second fret of the D and ring finger on the second fret of the B. I'm still holding all second frets, but the way that I'm shaping my hand and the fingers I'm using on each string have changed to make it easier to switch. Now when I switch to E, I'm going to scoot my index finger back and I'm on an E. This one hasn't changed and it's the same way that we fretted before. Let's go through those a little bit slower. I'm going to start on D. This one hasn't changed, it's still fretted the same way. I'm going to keep my index finger down as I lift my other fingers up. Keep it on the second fret. My middle goes on the second fret of the D. My ring goes on the second fret of the B. And when I switch to E, I'm going to lift up middle and ring, slide my index finger down to the first fret, and then shape the E the same exact way that I did before. So pause the video and try that out. Just switch between those three chords and try switching back. So you start on the E, move up to A, keep your index finger down, and then move up to D. Now let's try that with a metronome. We're going to play just A and D and strumming on beat 1. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try the same thing with E and A. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, we're going to try E and D. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you feel up for it, try those exercises, speeding up faster and faster every time you strum, until it becomes really comfortable to switch between those shapes. Remember to switch right after you strum on beat 1 so that you're not late to the next chord. So if you switch from E to A, you strum 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice that I switched right after I strummed and I didn't wait until it was done ringing. This is more of an exercise than an actual song that we want to try to perfect, so you want to use this time to improve those skills that you're developing. Now let's try that with something familiar. We're going to play the verses for Three Little Birds, strumming on beat 1. And remember to anchor your index finger to the G string, playing the first fret for the E and the second fret for A and D. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is still too fast, try playing the verse without any metronome and without worrying about time. Just worry about switching to the next chord, and once you've got it all shaped, then go ahead and strum. Now you can always speed up and try it faster and faster and faster. The goal of this exercise is kind of like a tongue twister, to get comfortable with the way that your fingers can move around the guitar, and also to open up your eyes to the way that we can fret the same chord in different ways.